Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. You may notice that we have moved again. We moved states again. Hopefully we're not leaving the state of Wisconsin for a very long time. This is my new craft room. All of it. We downsized. I'm smiling so I don't cry. It's fine. So just due to cost of living and in our new place versus our old place, we had to downsize to a 1 bedroom. We are very blessed and I shouldn't complain about it, but I'm a little sad as a maximalist. It's been a difficult adjustment, I'm not going to lie. We went from a very spacious 2 bedroom apartment to a 1 bedroom. Now we don't have kids, so we do still have space for the two of us to live. Brian downsized his work area to condense with his gaming area, and his old gaming desk is now my new craft desk. And this is the entirety of my craft space.
Okay, quick commercial break. I am attempting to open an in-person brick and mortar fabric shop on the east side of Madison, Wisconsin. Whether you're local or not, when you watch these videos, subscribe to these videos, comment on the videos, watch them all the way through, that helps get me a little bit further towards my goal of opening a brick and mortar store. I'm also going to be sharing behind the scenes here on the channel as that process gets started, so stay tuned for that. I so appreciate your support, and keep a watch on the description below because I'll be updating it with ways that you can help support the shop. I will have some human designed and tested quilt patterns and things like that at some point in the shop, and I would so appreciate it if you could check that out. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Back to the video.
Now, obviously, I haven't really unpacked it yet. I've unpacked some things, not all of the things. It's a disaster. So this video is going to be showing you how I am transforming this space to be my craft space. And no, it's not going to be something magical where I somehow fit everything from half of a room into this little space. I had to make some tough choices. So part of the reason this is not unpacked yet is because we just moved in a month ago and it's been chaotic, and just trying to fit in a smaller space has been difficult and challenging. And so this has taken a backseat. And honestly, I haven't really felt particularly creative for the last 6 to 8 weeks, really more than that. I feel like this whole year has just been a lot. But anyway, we got a storage unit, and we got a big enough storage unit so that I was able to unpack things. And so I do have some shelving in my storage unit so that I can kind of see what I have. And I took photos of it, so I have it on my phone so I can check and see. Although at this very moment, my husband is running to Harbor Freight to grab something because it's closer than the storage unit, and I needed one thing for a project. So we'll see how that works out. But anyway, I'm rambling because I did not write an outline for this video. But in the rest of the video is going to be voiceover. I have a few things that I want to get done to get this space set up for me. You can see I have already hung a shelf. Something you also may see is that there's a thermostat on the wall right there. I believe this have been set up as an accessible apartment unit, and so some of the things like the thermostat is a little bit lower on the wall than it would normally be. It worked okay for my shelf. It's fine. I'll survive. But anyway, hung a shelf. I'm going to hang a second shelf above that, and I'm going to hang, this is my like long wall, and then this is my short wall. And I'm going to hang a pegboard on this short wall. And you can't even see my desk, so I was going to talk about the desk. But it actually fits perfectly in this space. It is L-shaped, and again, once I clear it off, you'll be able to see it. I'm going to link the desk. We got it on Amazon for Brian's gaming setup, but it also is it's a perfect fit for my craft setup. So it's my craft desk now. I will link that on Amazon. Basically, like any craft setup I've had in the past, I am identifying zones and creating spaces and organization around that. So I am going to have 2 zones for this craft space, and that are going to be permanently set up. And then what you can't see is that this phone is set on an island that is actually quite large. It's about 6 feet long and about 3 feet deep. And so I can put my cutting mat there. I've got to show you guys this. This is so fun. If you know, you know. Boom, baby. Can't even fit it in the frame. I have been looking for a new cutting mat for ages. I've been checking estate sales and Goodwill, and you know they're expensive and I didn't want to spend full price. It does have a tiny little tear in the corner, but that's because I broke it when I was transporting it. Anyway, I think I got it at Goodwill for like $6. Yeah. Anyway, I'm very excited, but this will fit. Okay, I'm back. This cutting mat will fit on the island when I need to do bigger projects. I could also do it on the floor, and honestly, I might because I'm short, and sometimes I like just bending on the floor. Anyway, so the cutting mat will fit on the table or on the counter temporarily. So that's one of my solutions. But anyway, zones. My sewing machine, which you can barely see back here. That's my sewing machine. My sewing station will be on this deeper section of the desk, and on the narrow section, I don't know where it is, but my Cricut is somewhere. My Cricut is somewhere. My Cricut will go on this short portion, and you can't really see. There is my paper down to the right. I snuck in a little extra organizer, and I will link that one as well. That is from Amazon, and I like how narrow it is, and it's a perfect fit for 8.5 by 11 sheets of cardstock. So I will link both of the pieces of furniture. The shelves are just like Rubbermaid closet shelves, and I thrifted them, and then I covered them. They were really gross, so I covered them with like a vinyl wall covering thing. And those I've had, you've seen those if you've watched my videos. These shelves have been with me for 3 craft spaces now, so they're very don't overlook shelves. They're fantastic. They're very versatile. They have fit perfectly in all 3 spaces that I have had, so very thankful for those. Let's see, what else was I going to show you? Anyway, this has been really long and rambly, so I apologize, but I'm going to start unpacking this mess, getting some stuff put away, trying to find space for things. I may have to take more to my storage unit, and then I'm going to show you probably in a future video. I have 2 cube organizers. You know what I mean? Like the IKEA Kallax, except these aren't. These are the Target brand ones. I have a 4 cube unit, so 2 by 2, and then I have a 2 by 6. It's either a 6 cube or an 8 cube. It's in there. It's in our bedroom right now, but it's going to actually be out here by I have a little space by the island, and then by the kitchen countertop, and I'm going to set up both of those cube organizers to be craft stuff that I don't use quite as often, but still want to have nearby. I also cannot find space for my Sizzix, and I wanted my Sizzix on my desk, and I can't find a space for that. So that's a challenge that I'm going to be working on. We'll see what happens. But anyway, sit back, relax. I'm going to clear off some of this so I can hang my second shelf, and I'm going to paint my pegboard. So my pegboard, well, I'll share a picture. It's like a robin's egg blue color, and it's been that color for 2 craft rooms now, and I'm ready to switch it up in our apartment. I did like a pink backsplash in the kitchen, like a pink and white backsplash in the kitchen. I'll try to post a picture of that as well. And the kitchen is right across from me, so it's just one big room for the living space in the craft area. So this craft area is like, this is the living room wall right here, our TV's right here, and then this is the bathroom door, and behind me or in front of me, I guess, behind you is the kitchen. So, and then the entryway is there. So where was I going with that? Oh, the pegboard needs to really fit with my kitchen and my sofa and my counter stools. And I'm going to leave this artwork. The pink works. So pink is kind of the unifying color. And I promise the room won't look too girly overall, but the craft area will be girly. So I have a gallon somewhere of pink paint that's like a kind of a blush pink. And I have leftover. So it was girl math free paint, and I'm going to repaint the pegboard, and that'll be something fresh and new to help me get excited about this tiny little craft space. I have always told you guys that you can have an effective craft space in something as small as a closet, and now is my opportunity to prove that to myself and live that out. So join me on this journey of downsizing my craft space. Well, we've uncovered what I had so conveniently and blissfully forgotten about. These light switches. Now, there's two things you need to know about these light switches. First of all, they're in an incredibly obnoxious location because my pegboard is supposed to go right here. And second of all, they are a second set. So we have the same light switches. These are for our kitchen lights, and there's also light switches over by the door. So originally, when I saw that, I was just like, oh man, I'm gonna have to cut a hole in my pegboard, and then I lose storage, and I have to cut a hole in my pegboard, which I have the tools to sort of do so, but it's very janky and it will look really ugly and it'll make me really annoyed. And I just don't want to. And then I realized, since we don't really need these light switches, like they're handy, but like they're not absolutely necessary to our lives, I could just put the pegboard over them. Hear me out. So you need space behind the pegboard anyway for the hooks. Let me see if I can find one. Like if you've never hung pegboard hooks before, they need space to go in and latch onto the little hole. So I already, I'm sure there's actual ways that people do this. What I usually do is I take these little nuts and I kind of hot glue them together. And I glue them to the back of the pegboard, and then I screw into the wall, and these nuts hold the pegboard away from the wall. And so what I could do is add an additional one, and I actually think these screws might be long enough because it's just drywall. I'm not actually using my stud finder. I usually do quantity over quality. I did that with my shelves too. I don't bother using a stud finder. I just use the drywall, and I kind of angle the screws down a little bit when I screw them in, and that helps a little bit too. Anyway, I've never had a problem with my pegboard even remotely coming close to coming off the wall, and I don't hang like super heavy stuff on it, so I'm not worried. Anyway, if I just add an extra nut, I think it'll be deep enough. Just barely. So that's what I think I'm going to do, and then I don't have to cut a hole in my pegboard. I don't lose any storage. I lose light switches. My husband won't love that solution, but that's what we're rolling. Okay, future Amy interrupting past Amy here. I found another solution. I ran out of those bolt nuts, and I needed something, and I didn't want to run to the hardware store. So I found these. I was at Walmart, and I grabbed these tumbler straws. They were on clearance for $2.50. And you can just cut them with scissors. Actually, I thought I would need a knife, but they cut fine with scissors and didn't break. And they are the perfect size. They're clear, so they're hard to see. But I needed 3 more. Where did the other one go? See? Yeah. And then you can see these are the longer screws. And my goodness. I don't even think I need to hot glue them. I might just try screwing them on, and that's my little spacer. So that's another option if you don't have like random hardware laying around, is straws. Just make sure they're not obviously the glass straws. These are plastic, and they're pretty strong, like they're reusable, so you can see they're not like super bendy, but they're thin enough to cut with scissors. I don't know if you can tell by this video, but this hanging of pegboard is not a one-person job. I did make it work, but it definitely would have been easier if I'd waited for my husband. Story of my life. But anyway, I got the pegboard hung. I really still haven't figured out quite what I am going to hang on it. You'll see in the final photo that it's still pretty empty, and honestly, as I've been using it more, I've been taking note of the things that I have been using frequently from the pegboard, and then the things that I have not frequently been grabbing, because I want it to be things that are frequently used if it's going to take up space in this very small area that I have. I got my sewing machine set up. I moved the pink drawer units into the corner. Honestly, I need to find a different solution. They don't work well. They were not meant for a corner. The drawers are hard to access. The items inside are difficult to access. So I will most likely be switching that out at some point once I figure out a better solution for that. But this will work for now. And I did find my Cricut, and I also added a light from IKEA. I tried a desk lamp and it was comically large. There was no room. I didn't want to waste counter space, so I found this clip-on lamp from IKEA, and it has been one of the best investments ever. It's not perfect, but the price was right, and it does really work well for that size of a space. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think about this 2 videos side by side thing. I kind of did it to fill space because I needed to film these vertical because of the size of my craft space, but I don't know if it was annoying or if it was actually more fun and engaging to watch, especially next to the talking head. So please let me know if you liked that or not. I genuinely am not sure about it. I liked it personally as an ADHD girl, but let me know what you think, and let me know what you think about the space and what you would do with it. I would love to hear your thoughts, and I'm open to suggestions. So here is the final space. There's my half empty pegboard, and I'm going to be honest, it hasn't looked this clean since that day, but I will share more in the future, and let me know what you want to see in comments.